Hello again, everyone. I'm sorry for the disconnection. My Wi-Fi is crap, but we do have our live stream video back up and running. We did not miss too much. The 22nd overall pick was just once. The Nashville Predators selected Suran with the 22nd overall pick, so it's a pretty good pickup there for the Nashville Predators. I think that could be a really good pickup there for Nashville. Suran's a pretty good player. I think he could be a really good player there for the Nashville Predators, so it's a pretty good pickup there, and I think it could be really good there for the Nashville Predators. I do wonder if we could see some more moves there from Nashville over the next little while. So it'll be interesting to see. But Nashville does pick Suran. So some more stats on Suran at this point in time. Hold on. Suran was someone who's probably projected to go late first, early second round. He's a center/right winger playing over in the KHL the past couple of years. 6'1", 192 pounds, put 22 goals and 52 points in 42 MHL games. Looks like a very fantastic prospect there for the Nashville Predators, and I think eventually he could be a solid winger there for Nashville. So solid pickup there for the Nashville Predators, and they take him at 22nd overall. So we'll have to wait and see who goes 23rd overall. The pick is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Last year we saw them take Easton Cowan. That wound up being a fantastic pick for them. I do wonder if we could see Cowan be picked up by the Toronto Maple Leafs again, or if we could see something else, but it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens there. So it'll be interesting to see, but it'll be interesting to see if they go after another off-the-board player like Cowan was last year, and if it works out well for them, or if they wind up not going after Cowan and they wind up doing something else. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but the Leafs are next, so we'll have to wait and see on if the Leafs do wind up keeping the pick, or if they do wind up moving it, so we'll have to wait and see. Looking at a couple of things here. Let's see. So Igor Surin goes 22. According to Chris Johnston, the Leafs are making a trade here with their first overall pick. So it'll be interesting to see what the Leafs do here. Chris Johnston expects them to make a trade. We shall see. It's a possibility. It's not a guarantee by any means, but I think it could be a really good pickup there for the Leafs if they do want it moving it. So we'll have to wait and see. Could they move it back? There's some talk about Colorado trying to trade up. Could we see who's after Colorado? Boston. There's also LA. So the picks left are Boston. After Toronto was Colorado, Boston, LA, Carolina, Calgary via the Canucks, Dallas, New York, Anaheim via the Oilers, and Philly via the Florida Panthers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I do wonder which pick goes next, so we'll have to wait and see on that. I do hope that we don't get any more disconnections and that it goes well for the rest of this streaming video, so it'll be interesting to see. Chris Johnston still reporting that the Leafs are making a trade. Let's see what else we could see here. Interesting stuff there. So it'll be interesting to see what the Leafs are cooking right now. Could be a trade, could be some trading down, could be trying to acquire someone. So it'll be interesting to see, but I do wonder what we could see from the Toronto Maple Leafs here. Pick 23 is on the clock right now. We're nearly in the last quarter of the draft, so interesting to note there. It'll be interesting to see where the Leafs go. I do think we could see some interesting potentiality here for the Leafs, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. Let's see. They're currently on the phone right now. It sounds like the Leafs will be making a trade. I do wonder what we could be seeing here for the Leafs. Are they trying to make a big trade to improve their team? Are they trying to trade down? Are they trying to make some sort of other move? It sounds like the Leafs are making a trade. We should be getting the details on it in not too long now. So we shall see in a second here what the Leafs do. It sounds like the Leafs are going to be doing something here. Not exactly sure what, definitely, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. So I do wonder what we could be seeing here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. How low are they trying to go? Could they be looking to try and move a contract or something? We saw this a couple of years ago when they moved down out of the first round to get a second round pick, and in exchange they were able to get the Blackhawks to take on Mrazek. Could they be making a similar sort of move here? And if so, what sort of a deal could we be seeing here from the Toronto Maple Leafs? We're about to get the announcements here, so don't stay tuned so we can get this announcement for the Toronto Maple Leafs and see exactly who they go after here, or who they're trading with, or what they do. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. Interesting to see. The Leafs pick still on the clock right now. So I do want. Oh yeah, we do have a trade alert here. So let's see what the Leafs and whatever team else is doing over here at pick number. What the Leafs are doing here and the other team are doing here with this pick. So let's see. The pick is, let's see, the Leafs. The Ducks acquired a 23rd overall pick from the Maple Leafs for the 31st and 58th overall pick. So the Leafs trade to the second to last pick of this year draft, and the Ducks take the 31st and 58th overall pick. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Ducks. They get the 23rd overall pick. They trade up. I think they might have someone on mind, and what they're going to try and get could be a defenseman here. Wonder if they try and go after Cole Hudson. So it'll be interesting to see who they try and target here, but that could be a really good pickup there for the Anaheim Ducks. They take the 23rd overall pick from the Toronto Maple Leafs, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here. I could see him make some interesting moves, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. Let's see what they could do here. Let's see. So the Ducks have traded up. They're going to be picking 23rd overall. I'll be interested to see who they wind up taking at 23rd overall. So I could see them having some interesting potentiality here to go after someone. So it'll be interesting to see. I do wonder if we could see them potentially go after someone in the free agent market or in the draft. I don't know who they go after here at the 23rd overall. Could they go after Hudson? I think it's a possibility. Look at some of these other picks that they have. You could see Solberg. I could see that be a possibility here for the Montreal Canadiens, for the Anaheim Ducks. On the defensive end, you have Emery, you have Elick, you have Wallenius, you have Hudson, you have Emery. So there's a couple of really good prospects here on the defensive side that could wind up going to the Anaheim Ducks that I think they could try and target. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who they go after, but I could see that'd be a really good pickup there for the Anaheim Ducks. Interesting stuff here for the Ducks to see who they try and go after. Could see it be a really good pickup here. Could be a really bad pickup, so not exactly sure who they go after. Still not exactly sure if there's any trade rumors. Besides a couple of decent swaps, we haven't really seen much on the trade rumor front, so it'll be interesting to see exactly who they go after. I do think we could see some interesting pieces here. We could see the Ducks try and go after some guys, so it'll be interesting to see who they go after. Let's see. Hold on. The Ducks are selecting here. I would expect it to be a defenseman. I wouldn't be overly shocked if it was someone else, but we could see something like that. So let's look at what the pick is for the Anaheim Ducks. I do wonder what they pick up here. And the pick for the Anaheim Ducks right now is, let's see, hold on. The Ducks pick is, hold on, they just made the selection with the 23rd overall pick after trading up. The Anaheim Ducks select prospect Stian Solberg. So it is Solberg. Okay, so not too surprised there. Solberg's a really fantastic defensive prospect. I think he should continue to be a solid prospect there for the Ducks. Eventually should be a solid top four defenseman. Solberg this past year was 6'2", 205 pounds, putting up 5 goals and 15 points in 42 games over in Norway. Looks like a very fantastic defensive prospect, and I think that's a really good pickup there for the Ducks, getting Solberg at number 23, so it's a pretty good pickup there for the Ducks. The Avalanche are next on the board. Wonder if they go after Chernyshov, who I originally had them taking. Could they go after, I wonder who's still on the board. Let's see, Greentree is still on the board. He's actually been falling quite a bit. Hudson, Emery, Badinka, Basha, Budon, Periskak, Hemming, Artemanov. Periskak has been taken, but Artemanov, Ritchie. So some interesting potentialities here for the Anaheim Ducks to go after. So it'll be interesting to see exactly which way they go. But that could be a really good pickup there for the Ducks. Chris Johnson saying another trade coming. And Jaron Drager's reporting the exact same thing. So it sounds like we could have the third trade of the night. So it sounds like we could be getting some more draft trades. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. Let's just check out some things here. So there was some talk about Colorado making a trade. It sounds like they might still make that trade, so we'll have to wait and see if the Avalanche do wind up making a move or if they do something else. But we are waiting for the Avalanche to make that deal maybe, or someone else. It sounds like we could have a big trade in the next little while, so stay tuned. Stian Solberg winds up going to the Anaheim Ducks, so interesting stuff there, but that's a pretty good pickup there for the Ducks. I do wonder if we could see some more other things. Interesting to note there. So some interesting stuff there. Let's see. It sounds like there's a trade coming. I can't guarantee at this point in time. The Avalanche are on the clock. Chris Johnson is saying there should be a trade coming in the not distant future. It sounds like Colorado's trade number 24. It does sound like that's going to be happening. It sounds like Utah is moving up to get a little bit higher in the draft pick. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Utah franchise if they do wind up getting number 24 overall. It sounds like that's probably going to happen. Not exactly sure if that's guaranteed, but Utah might have someone they want to try and get. They went after Iginla with that first pick, so I could see him go after a guy like Cole Hudson. That could be a really good pick there for the Utah franchise. I do wonder what this trade is. Let's see what this full trade details is for the Avalanche and Utah. Let's see. Let's see what this trade is. The Avalanche and Utah franchise have made a trade. Let's double check what this trade is for both these teams. The Avalanche have traded the 24th overall pick to the Utah franchise for 38th, 71st, and the Rangers' second round pick in next year's draft. So the Avalanche trade out of the first round. They're going to get a second round pick in next year's draft. Most likely, I think that's a third round pick in this year's draft. So a second and third round pick in this year's draft, 38th and 71st overall. And they also take a second round pick in next year's draft, which is the New York Rangers. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Utah franchise. They have a lot of picks. They're never going to use all 13, so they move a couple of them and are able to acquire a couple of picks in return. So it's pretty good there for the Utah franchise, and I think that could be a really good pickup there, taking it over from the Avalanche. So that could be a really good pickup there for Utah to try and get the 24th overall pick. Now the question is who they go after. There's some players who are still on the board. Liam Greentree could be a really good pickup there. Cole Hudson. You have Igor Chernyshov. You have Budon. You have Basha. You have Emery. You have Badinka, Hemming, Artemanov, Richie. There's a couple of really good pickups here that could happen for Utah. So I do wonder who they go after here at number 24 overall. So we are going to be getting interesting to see what happens with Utah and taking number 24th overall. So we've had three small trades, pick for pick swaps, not huge things that have happened. So interesting to note there. So the 24th overall pick for the 38th, 71st, and the 2025 second rounder that belongs to the New York Rangers. So it's a decent swap there for both of these teams. So good pick up there for some of these teams. So good to see Solberg go to Anaheim, trade up for him, get him. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Ducks as they as they are able to focus in on a player that they really liked and keep him. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Ducks. We're nearly to the end of our live stream. We've got, I think, 8 more picks left, 24 to 30 seconds. So we do have a couple more picks here, but not too much. So hopefully we don't get cut out anymore, and we should be able to do really well. So some interesting stuff there. I do hope that we continue to have some more reviews over the next little while. So if you are watching this, then don't forget to leave a chat down in the comment section below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think of this happened so far. So some interesting trades have gone down. We've seen a lot of interesting picks. So we'll go to Utah now. Utah is going to be an interesting team to watch out for in the next couple of days. Looking for some top 4 defensive help. Looking for some more other players. So it'll be interesting to see what Utah does this weekend. But I do think they could be looking for some defensive help, maybe some forward help. Could be looking to make some even more trades over tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But Utah's making some moves earlier on today, so that's a pretty good pickup there. So they are able to get 24th overall, move a couple of decent picks. Do wonder what they do with this pick, so it'll be interesting to see what Utah does. So it'll be interesting to see. The Leafs deal is a deal that makes sense for the Leafs. They needed to try and improve this team. They need to more draft capital, so to move down, I think it's 8 spots, and to get an extra second-round pick is a pretty good move there for the Leafs. So it's a pretty good move there for Toronto to get some more draft capital, but the Ducks do trade up and get Solberg. The Canadiens got Hage. The Islanders got Yzerman. The Knights got... Knights got Connolly. Souran went to Nashville 22. Forgot to mention that. And we were about to have the 24th overall pick, which is Utah. So interesting stuff there. At least we've had some pick-for-pick swaps. I mean, last year at the draft, we didn't have any pick-for-pick swaps. So interesting stuff there. I'm not exactly sure if there's no players who have been moved. I mean, we could see some more players be moved. It's possible, unlikely. I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen any big names like Natchez or Zigra or like that wind up being moved. But to respond to Chatter, yeah, I am a little bit surprised we've had no players moved so far tonight. So interesting stuff there. Meanwhile, for Utah, they've just made their selection. They take Buchanan. So Buchanan, who's a center, Cole Buchanan, he played in Barrie over in the OHL this past year, 6'2", 209 pounds, 28 goals, 62 points in 67 games. Really good player. Looks like eventually could be a solid second, third line center there for the Utah franchise. So it's a pretty good pickup there for Utah. Could add to their prospect pool. So pretty good stuff there for Utah to get Buchanan, who I think could be a really good pickup there for the Utah franchise. So some pretty interesting moves there. So Buchanan and Iginla are both going to Utah. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't go after a defenseman, but still some interesting things from over the past little while. I do wonder if we could see some more moves in the last couple of picks before we finish up. 25th overall will be the Boston Bruins. They reacquired this pick a couple of days ago after moving Linus Ullmark. That could be a really good pickup there for that team. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who they go after, but I definitely think we could see some more trades, or we could see some more picks in the not just in the future, but Buchanan is a really good pickup there for the Utah franchise. I do wonder if we do see something on potentially something else more. So it'll be interesting to see Leafs, Ducks make a trade, pick swaps, Wild Flyers make pick swaps, Utah and Avalanche make pick swaps. I do hope that tomorrow's maybe a little more busier and maybe our live stream's a little bit better, a little bit less choppy, a little bit less disconnections. So hopefully it does get a little bit better tomorrow, but it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, tomorrow at around 8:15ish, I'm not exactly sure, it might be a little bit later than that, but around 8:15ish I'll probably do a live video tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing rounds 2 through 4. I'll probably leave after rounds 4. So it'll be interesting to see, but definitely I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to do another one I think around 9:30, 10ish on Monday morning for my live free agent video. So definitely will be some interesting things there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but some pretty interesting things that have happened over the past little while. We have 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32 left on our draft board. So just a quick recap as to what has happened so far today. First overall, San Jose Sharks took Celebrini. Second overall, the Chicago Blackhawks took Levshinov. Third overall, the Anaheim Ducks took Beckett Senek. Fourth overall, the Jackets took it was Kane Lindstrom. Fifth overall, the Montreal Canadiens took Ivan Demidov. Sixth overall, the Utah franchise took Iginla. Seventh overall, the Senators took Yakimchuk. Eighth overall, the Kraken took Catan. Ninth overall, the Flames took Perrick. 10th overall, the Devils took Salayev. 11th overall, the San Jose Sharks took the San Jose Sharks took 11th overall. The San Jose Sharks 11th overall took Sam Dickinson. At 12th overall, we saw the Flyers take Luchenko. 13th overall, we saw 12th overall, we saw Buyum go to Minnesota. 13th overall, we saw the Flyers take Luchenko. 14th overall, we saw the Buffalo Sabres go after Hellenius. 15th overall, we saw the Red Wings go after Nygaard. 16th overall, Juracek went to St. Louis. 17th overall, we saw the Washington Capitals take Periskak. 18th overall, Chicago was able to take, I think it was Boisvert. 19th overall, Vegas took Conley. 20th overall, the Islanders stopped the fall of Cole Yzerman. 21st overall, we saw the 21st overall, we saw the 21st overall, we saw the Montreal Canadiens take Michael Hage. 22 overall, we saw Saran go to the Predators. And 23 overall, we saw Solberg go to Anaheim with 24 overall. We seeing the with 24 overall, we saw the with 24 overall, we just saw Utah take Buchanan. So some pretty good pickups so far. We have 25 on the clock right now with the Boston Bruins, and then we're going to have a couple of more later round picks, and that'll close out the first round of the draft. Like I said, I'm going to do a live draft video tomorrow. Hopefully the stream's better, but we'll have to wait and see. And then on top of that, on Monday, I'm going to have a live stream video, also in the morning, talking about the free agent frenzy, so we'll have to wait and see on that. And on top of that, we should also have some more on top of that, we should have a draft recap video tomorrow at some point, recapping the first round of the draft. So definitely stay tuned for that. It'll probably happen either tomorrow night on Saturday or maybe Sunday at some point. So definitely stay tuned for that. But we'll have a recap of the first round of the draft, just going over all of those picks that have happened. So interesting stuff there. Hopefully we won't be able to have connection problems over there. So interesting stuff there. But some interesting picks have been made over the past little while. So some of the top end players who could still be had who haven't been picked yet. One is Liam Greentree in Detroit. Another is Chernyshov in Montreal. One is the Greentree. One is Chernyshov. One is Basha, Emery, Cole Hudson, Badinka, Hemming, Ritchie, Artemanov, Elik, Stiga, Letourneau. There's a lot of really good picks here still available. So lots of really good prospects here still available. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next. But definitely some interesting stuff that's happened so far. We do have a couple of interesting more interesting pieces that are going to be happening over the next little while. I do wonder what's taking so long for the Boston Bruins. So we should have them in the next couple of minutes. So interesting stuff there. Utah. So Utah trades up to get Buchanan. Minnesota trades up and gets Buem. And Anaheim trades up and gets Solberg. So some interesting trade options there from the Ducks, Utah franchise, and Wild to getting some players that they apparently value really much. Bruins are just supposed to make their way to the stage. So that could be really good there for the Boston Bruins. I do wonder what else they could do. So some interesting stuff there. Some interesting potentialities here for what we could see over the next little while. So we're 20 minutes into this third stream. Sorry to everyone who was watching the first two streams for the disconnection problems, but hopefully we don't have any more of those tonight. We do have some more interesting updates here when it comes to potentially having some more picks. The Boston Bruins are picking now. They're picking at number 25 overall after retaining the pick from Linus Ullmark trade. So they're able to get the 25th overall pick back. They will be picking 25th overall. So interesting stuff there. I don't know who exactly they'll go after. After them, we'll have LA, and after that, we'll have Carolina. So we'll have some interesting players over the next little while to be picking from. I do wonder who the Bruins go after. Boston, let's see. The Bruins are picking with their first overall pick. Prospect. Let's just double check here. They're taking prospect. Prospect Dean Letourneau. Sorry about this, but Letourneau, Dean Letourneau, who was a 6'7", 214-pound center. He looks fantastic. He's going to be a big body player there for the Boston Bruins. They love their size, love physicality too. He had 61 goals and 127 points and 56 U18 AAA games. So he looks like a pretty good player. I think eventually could be a solid second, third line center there for the Bruins. Has some potentiality to be a really solid, lethal forward for the Bruins. So that could be a really good pickup there for the Boston to try and add Letourneau to their team. So that's a pretty good pickup there for the Boston Bruins. I do wonder what else we could see over the next little while. We have, I think, 7 more picks, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 6 more picks left in the draft. So not too many left. A handful of players left, and I do wonder who we'll see go 26 to 32 and to round out this top end of the draft. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I do wonder if we do see some other things. So I do wonder if we could see interesting stuff here. So Interesting stuff now. So we have had a couple of trades. Most of them are swapped for picks. We saw the Wild acquire the 12th overall pick from Philly for the 13th and a third-round pick in next year's draft. We saw the Utah franchise trade up to get the 24th overall pick from the Avalanche in exchange for the 38th, 71st, and a 25 second-round pick, which is next year's from the Rangers. And then we also saw the Anaheim Ducks acquired a 23rd overall pick from the Toronto Maple Leafs in exchange for the 31st overall pick, and I think it was the 40-something pick or 38th or something like that. It was a early round, second round pick. So some interesting trades from over the past little while. We've seen Toronto and Anaheim hook up on a deal. So did Utah and Colorado. So did a couple of other teams. So it'll be interesting to see how many trades we see over tonight and then leading into tomorrow when we start the second round of the draft. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, Monday's going to be interesting too to see the free agent markets. So interesting stuff from over the next little while. So we've got some interesting pieces of news to talk about. Kings pick is on the block right now, so we'll see if the Kings keep it or trade it, and if they do keep it, who they pick. So it could be interesting to note there for the LA Kings. They have the pick 26 after the trade they made with the Montreal Canadiens earlier today, so that could be interesting to note there. Some guys who are falling right now, Liam Greentree, Cole Hudson are two, in my opinion, who are, I was expecting to go a little bit higher than where they are right now. Could see them go after. So LA, they have a lot of really good forward prospects. Could see them go after a guy like Cole Hudson right now. Wouldn't be overly shocked if they go after EJ Emery or something like that. I think that could be a really good pickup there for the LA Kings. So it will be interesting to see that. I could see that be a really good pickup there for the LA Kings. So it will be interesting to see. I do wonder what else we could see over the next little while. Kings pick is on the block right now, so I do wonder who they could be trying to target. I do wonder if we do see any trades. Kings are going to be a team who's going to be interesting to watch out for over the next little while. They're definitely going to want to add some more forward help to their team. They could definitely use some more defensive help with a guy like Matt Roy. So it will be interesting to see exactly who they go after, but that could be a really good pickup there for the LA Kings. I do think we could see some more pickups there for the LA Kings, trying to get a solid prospect. Their prospect pool is loaded, so I wouldn't be overly shocked if they try to trade it, but if they do pick, I wouldn't be surprised if they went a defenseman here and go for a guy like Cole Hudson. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I do think we could see some interesting stuff there. So interesting stuff so far. Not too many really big trades at this point in time. I do hope we can see some trades tomorrow. Usually day 2 is a little bit busier than day 1, but we haven't seen any big trades on day 1, so it'll be interesting to see if we see any big trades tomorrow. But at this point in time, it looks like we're probably not going to see any trades at this point in time, so it's not overly good news there. We could see some trades, but it's not overly likely. So let's see what else we could see here. We have LA, it's 26th overall pick. Then we'll have 27, which is Carolina, 28th, which is Calgary, 29, which is Dallas, 30, which is NYR, 31, which is the Leafs now via the Ducks and the Oilers, and 32 is Philadelphia via the Florida Panthers. So we've got a couple of interesting picks coming up over the next little while. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I do wonder if we could see some major trades over the next little while, so it'll be interesting to see. I do think we could see some more interesting trades. But the Bruins, the Kings pick is on the Kings pick is about to be announced, so we're about to know who the LA Kings picked with their first round pick. They traded down earlier today, so we do wonder who they pick at 26 overall. While we wait for the Kings pick to be official, let's just go back to look at some things that have happened earlier today. We saw some signings from over the past from today. Not too much. We saw Pickard extend in Edmonton. We saw Texier extend in St. Louis. We saw Gillies and Kierstead extend in Florida. Petrovic in Dallas. Deneen in Edmonton. Clegg in Buffalo. And Kesselring in Utah. And Kesselring, Pickard, and Texier are the only players who got above the league minimum. So some interesting signings that happened over the past couple of days. I think those are some really good signings. And It'll be interesting to see who ends up going here at number 26 overall to the LA Kings. And with the 26 overall pick in this year's draft, the Los Angeles Kings are proud to select. Let's see who they select here. The Kings select, let's see, Kings nab Liam Greentree. So they do stop the fall for Liam Greentree. Greentree's a solid prospect. Looks like eventually could be a solid second, third line power type forward. This is someone who I was expecting to go to Detroit, but falls a little bit here. That could be a really good steal for the Kings. Greentree, who was a right winger, played 6'2", 214 pounds, playing 64 original games this past year, putting up 36 goals and 90 points. Looked like a pretty good power type forward there for the in the OHL, and I think eventually could be a solid prospect there for the LA Kings. So some interesting stuff there for the Kings. And that's a really good prospect there for the Kings, taking home Greentree, who I think is a very fantastic pickup there at 26 overall. So we'll go to 27th overall. That pick goes to the Carolina Hurricanes. Do wonder who they try and go after at number 27. It could be a decent player. Could be a lower end player. Don't know if they trade back or not. So we have 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 left. So 6 picks left in this draft. So some interesting stuff there. The Canes are going to be a busy team to watch out for the next couple of days. Could they move Natchez? Are they going to keep Pesci or D'Angelo or Shea? Is there a possibility we could see them potentially go after a forward or two? Is Teravainen coming back? Is Gensel coming back? We don't know yet. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days for the Hurricanes. They're right now on the clock with the 27th overall pick. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who they go after at this point in time. I think we could see some interesting moves there for the LA Kings. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happened there. So we got some interesting updates here for the Carolina Hurricanes. So far, it's been a really decent draft. We've seen a couple of pick swaps. We've seen some picks be decided. We're going to another commercial, so it's going to be a little bit before you hear who the Carolina Hurricanes pick, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Hurricanes. So we got a couple of decent trades so far today, so it'll be interesting to see. I do think we could see some more trades later today. It's possible. Not exactly sure who could be dealt or things like that, or what sort of signings we could see over the next little while. We're probably going to have some more buyout info during our live stream tomorrow, so there's going to be some interesting stuff over the next little while. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who ends up going to these places, but I think the Ducks made a really good move there trading up, so the Utah franchise. And even though the Bruins took a player who I think was expected to go in like the late second round, it's still a pretty good pickup there. And then the Kings are able to get Greentree and stop his fall. So some pretty good pickups there over the past couple of rounds. So we got some interesting things. I'll just go over, with it being a commercial and we're having to wait anyway, go over my recent 50-team free agent lists and go over who I have. Those are my top 50 free agents at this point in time. Now remember, a couple of these guys have signed since I put them on the board, but we do have Reinhart at number 1, not too surprised there. Gensel's 2, Pesci 3, Stamkos is 4, Zadorov is 5, Lindholm 6, Marchessault 7, Montour is 8, Stevenson is 9, Tanev is 10, Joshua, who did indeed sign with Vancouver, is 11, but he's now off the board. You have Bertuzzi at 12. You have 13th is Domi. 14th is Shea. 15th is Duclair. 16th is DeBrusque. 17th is Kakkonen. 18th is Kane. 19th is Duchesne. 20th is Desharnais. 21st is Teravainen. 22nd is Toffoli. 23rd is Marchnook. 24th is Brossois. 25th is Matt Roy. 26th is Gostisbehere. 27th is Brown. 28th is Walker. 29th is Snowson. 30th is Arvidsson. 31st is Zucker, 32nd is DeSmith, 33rd is Olofsson, 34th is Roslovic, 35th is Monahan, 36th is Barry, 37 is Samsonov, 38 Wenberg, 39 Barabanov, 40 Martinez, 41 Tarasenko, 42 Perron, 43 Grzelcyk, 44 Stolars, 45 LeBanc, 46 Mantha, 47 Henrique, 48 Talbot, 49 Trennan, and 50 Hakanpää. So those are my top 50 free agents at this point in time. I haven't even included guys like Suter and Atkinson, who were recently just bought out. So it'll probably change a little bit before the start of the free agent markets. But definitely stay tuned for that, as I'll have a new top 50 free agent board in the not too distant future, so definitely don't forget to stay tuned for that. But once again, I'll have hopefully a trade bait board and a free agent board update over the next couple of days, so definitely have to stay tuned for that. So I hopefully should have that open in the not too distant future. Updated. It sounds like the Carolina Hurricanes are about to make their pick, so that could be really good. There's a trade alert for the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes did indeed make a trade. Let's see what this pick trade is for Carolina Hurricanes and who is getting it. Let's see what happens with the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's see, what sort of a move are they making? Is this a Nature's trade? Is it a trade for something else? Are they trying to improve their team? I know they have a lot of defensemen going to free agency. They have a lot of offensemen going to free agency. So let's see what this trade is about. Carolina Hurricanes are moving the 27th overall pick. Not exactly sure what they're moving it for, but we're about to find out. They're just announcing the pick here on TV. So let's see who the Carolina Hurricanes just made a pick with or swap with. The Carolina Hurricanes acquired the Chicago Blackhawks traded up and acquired the 27th overall pick from the Hurricanes. In exchange, the Hurricanes get 34 and 50. So the Hurricanes get 2 second-round picks, one in the higher level. It'll be one of the first picks tomorrow, one in the mid-level. So it's going to be a pretty good pickup there for the Chicago Blackhawks to get 27th overall. They've already taken Boisvert. They've already taken Levshinov. They seem to have someone who they really have on their minds to try and pick. I wonder if here's where Cole Hudson goes. I think it's a possibility. Some other guys who I think they could go after would be Chernyshov, who's playing over in Russia, Basha, Emery on the defensive end, Hemming, Artemanov, Ritchie. There's a couple of decent players here who the Blackhawks could go after, so expect the Blackhawks to make another really good trade to try and improve this team even more, so it'll be interesting to see, but that could be a really good pickup there for the Blackhawks, moving 2 second-round picks for a first-round pick, so it's a pretty good pickup there for the Hawks, and they do wind up moving the Carolina Hurricanes a couple of second-round picks. They have a plethora of picks anyway, so moving those sort of picks doesn't really hurt them a whole bunch, and if they're able to get a solid player who eventually in a couple of years time could be a solid player there for that team, that could be a really good pickup there for the Blackhawks. So some interesting stuff there. Let's see if there's any sort of rumors from over the past little while. Let's see. It doesn't seem like it. So just the small trade that happened right now. Let's see if there's any sort of rumors happening over the past little while. Carolina moves. No trade rumors at this point in time. Let's see. Darren Dreger is saying that nope, not at this point. So interesting stuff there, but just a couple of pick swaps so far today, so not overly great stuff. Definitely not good for my video. I was hoping we could break some big trades. Hopefully we'll be able to do that tomorrow, but definitely not being able to do that tonight. So it sounds like we'll probably have the Blackhawks picking 27th overall in the not too distant future. It sounds like it's about to happen, so stay tuned. We should be able to have some interesting stuff over the next little while too, so don't forget to stay tuned. We're going to have more videos over the next couple of days talking about trades that happen, free agency. Like I said, I'll try and do my live stream video without it being disconnected tomorrow morning. I'll try and do another free agent video on Monday. Hopefully nothing happens there too. So we got a couple of trade and free agent videos to happen over the next couple of days. So definitely don't forget to stay tuned for those. Plus we're going to have usual regular videos talking about big trades and things like that that's going to happen over the next couple of days. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. We're definitely going to be posting a little bit over the next little while, so stay tuned. But we do have some interesting still updates from over the past little while. It seems that the Hawks are about to make their pick after trading up, moving a couple second round picks for a 27th overall pick. It seems that they're about to make their selection, so I do wonder who they try and go after. Let's see. It's going to be their this is the second time, I think 3 years, they've had 3 first-round picks. I think it was 2 years ago, if I'm correct. They took Rinzel, and they took someone else, Nazer. They took Rinzel, they took Nazer, and I think they took someone else that draft too. So this is, I think, the second time in 3 years they have 3 first-round draft picks, and they take Marek Vanacker. That's a little bit of a surprise. He was expected to go most likely in like the first end of the second round. Vanacker, who's the left winger, he's 6 feet, 165 pounds. Really good player there for the really good player there for the Blackhawks. He could be eventually a solid player there for Chicago. So I think that's a pretty good pickup there. Put up 36 goals and 68 points in 82 games this past year for the Blackhawks. So that's a pretty good pickup there. And I think eventually Vanacker could be a really good pickup there for the Blackhawks. So some interesting stuff there. Give me a second. Just gotta check on something. Hold on a minute. Okay, we are back. So we do have some more interesting rumors from over the past couple of days. Not a whole bunch. You can go check out some of my other videos I did earlier today. A couple of videos I did over the past couple of days. We've been talking about some rumors that happened over the past couple of days. Could we see Truba be moved? Could we see Natchez be moved? Stamkos hitting free agency. It sounds like it. Zadorov. So there's a lot of interesting potentialities here for guys who could be moved. So we're going to have to wait and see. The 20th overall pick should be happening in the not too distant future. Hopefully it could be a really good pickup there for the Black. Could be a really good pickup there. The Flames do have the 20th overall pick, so I do wonder what could happen. It'll be interesting to see what happens for the Black. It'll be interesting to see what happens for the Flames and what they do with the 20th overall pick. But I do think we could see the Flames make a really good pickup here. They already took Parekh earlier in the draft, so I do think we could see a really good pickup here for the Flames at number 28th overall. After this, we'll have 4 more picks left. The 4 teams to make the conference final. That's the Stars, Rangers, Leafs via the Oilers, and Flyers via the Panthers. So interesting stuff that's going to happen over the next little while. It sounds like we're going to have some more potentiality here as making some potential interesting moves here. So still, not a whole bunch here of rumors. We haven't really had a whole bunch of rumors today. There was a couple of rumors earlier on. I mean, we could talk about Marino. There's some talk about the New Jersey Devils potentially moving Jadon and Marino. They are opening to moving him. A lot of people think it's because they're one of the teams who really want a guy like Brett Pesce. So we could see the Devils try and move a guy like John Marino. I think he's got like 3 or 4 years left at $4.5 million in cap hit, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see who they go after. It'll be interesting to see. It sounds like Carolina still wants to sign Gensel. Could see me potentially work out here. Could Draisaitl be moved? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the chat if you think Draisaitl gets moved. If not, where do you think he winds up going? So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the Draisaitl stuff. What else do you think about all the stuff that's happening from over the past little while? Sounds like we could still get some more trades today, maybe. We'll see. We have had in the past some trades happen way after the draft, but before the second round starts. So it'll be interesting to see who the other people go after, but interesting so far. The Flames hold the 28th overall pick. They're about to use their selection to take a 28th overall. That'll leave us with 4 picks left in this draft. So it'll be interesting to see. It's been a decent draft. Had a surprise early on with Senek going to Anaheim. So that could be a pretty good pickup there for the Ducks. I do wonder who else we could see go over. So the Flames, they used this pick from the Vancouver Canucks in the Elias Lindholm deal, so it was a pretty good pickup there that the Flames got for Elias Lindholm. So it's a pretty solid sign there for the Flames. I think this could be a really good pickup there for Calgary. Wonder what else we could see. So it'll be interesting to see, but definitely some interesting stuff. So we are still waiting on the 20th overall pick and its announcement. I do wonder who the Flames will take. They could be in search of another defenseman. Could they take Cole Hudson? I think it's a possibility. They could be in search of another player. I don't know exactly who they try and target, but it sounds like they will be taking the 20th overall pick in the not too distant future. Let's see. Nothing at this point in time. So interesting stuff there. At this point in time, don't know exactly anything else. We've had a couple of pick swaps, not too much here at this point in time. The pick swaps were the Hawks getting the 27th overall pick from the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for 2 seconds. The Leafs getting the 23rd overall pick. The Ducks getting the 23rd overall pick from the Leafs for I think it was 31st overall and a second round pick. The Utah franchise got the 24th overall pick from Colorado for a second, a third, and a 2025 second. And the Minnesota Wild got a 12th overall pick from the Flyers for 13th overall and a 2025 third round pick. So there's been a couple of decent trades over the past little while, so it could be a really good pickup there to see what else these guys could do over the next little while. So it'll be interesting to see, but this is a pretty good pickup there for some of these other teams. So we'll have the Flames' second pick on today's first round and see what they do here. So let's see. Let's see, the Flames Still haven't picked at this point in time. They should not just in future. Man, it's a really long draft on day one. Day two usually goes by really quickly, but day one there's usually a lot of time space between the picks, so it's really hard to fill the time in between. Usually that's why it's good to see some of the big trades so we can discuss some of these trades, but today so far we haven't had anything, so interesting stuff. So I do wonder what we also could see here. The Flames are picking 28th overall. Interesting to see who goes 28th overall. Let's see. I still don't know who Flames take at 28th overall. So we'll have to wait and see. The Flames have made their pick. They take Matvei Gridin. Gridin, who was a guy who I think could have gone early, late in the first round. Gridin, who was... Ooh, where the heck is... Oh, yeah, here. Right winger Matvei Gridin. A couple of people were expecting him to be in a second round pick. Goes late in the first. 6'1", 185 pounds. Coming off of a season in the USHL where he played in 60 games. Putting up 38 goals and 83 points. Looked pretty good. So I think it's a pretty good pickup there for the Calgary Flames to take him. A right winger could really work well with guys like Peltier and Coronado and Zary as the future prospects of that team. Honjic. So that's a pretty good pickup there for Calgary. And with the second pick in the first round, they are able to take Gridin, so there's a pretty good pickup there for Calgary, taking Gridin over Vancouver with their pick from Vancouver. 4 picks left. We have Dallas, New York, we have Toronto, and we have Dallas, New York, Toronto, and we have Dallas, New York, Toronto, and Philadelphia still left. So some interesting trade proposals could still be happening. Not exactly sure we'll see any more trades. We're probably just going to have the last 4 picks of the draft. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up going where. Gridin goes to Calgary. Pretty good pickup there for the Flames. So it's a pretty good pickup. As soon as the 32nd overall pick is done, I'm going to quickly do a recap, just really quickly. Like I said, I'll have a more in-depth video, hopefully at some point tomorrow, and then I'll shut off the live stream and we'll go over whatever happened tomorrow, whatever happens later tonight and tomorrow morning, and tomorrow's live stream video. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. It's going to be an interesting video, but for now, we're probably going to hit off the live stream in the next 15 to 20 minutes. That's probably how long I'll take for the next 4 picks to go down. So don't forget to stay tuned for tomorrow's videos. And like I said, the live stream video plus the other videos we could be doing too. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. We have had a decent amount of views today and a couple of chats, so I want to thank you guys all for staying tuned. I really do appreciate that. So I do wonder what we could be seeing tomorrow. So Flames take Gridin. That's a pretty good pickup there for Calgary. We'll see what else happens. So interesting stuff there. We'll see what else they take. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Flames. So Flames have walked out of this draft with Parekh and Gridin, which was pretty good. Some other teams who've had multiple second-round picks, what have they taken? Well, let's see. Calgary, Carolina took one. No, Chicago. Chicago's had 3 picks. They take Vanacker, they take Boisvert, and they take Levchinov. So that's a pretty good pickup there for the Hawks. The Sharks have taken 2 picks. They are able to take Dickinson and Celebrini, so they've come out with a win. The Ducks take Senek and Solberg, so the Ducks have come out of this draft looking pretty good. The Canadians took Demidov as well as Hage, so they've come out of this draft looking pretty good. Some other teams who had, Utah. Utah had 2 picks. They took at 6th overall Iginla and at 24th overall Buchanan, so both those guys are pretty good put forwards. So the teams who have had some multiple picks have done pretty well. Toronto's going to have their first pick. Dallas is going to have their first pick. New York's going to have their first pick. And Philadelphia is going to have their second pick in the not too distant future. We're about to have those 4 picks, and then, like I said, I'll do a quick recap and shut down the live stream. So some interesting stuff there. So really interesting stuff. And by the way, that Utah trade was actually the first trade in Utah history. So interesting to note there that Utah getting the 24th for the 38th, 71st, and a 2025 second round pick from the Rangers was actually the first trade in Utah history. It wasn't a big trade. It was just trading up a couple of picks, getting a player they really liked, but it was a decent trade nonetheless for Utah. So interesting stuff there. we could see some interesting stuff happen over the next little while. But yeah, so the Blackhawks are really loading up in their prospect pool. Utah's looking pretty good. You got San Jose, who had some pretty good picks. Anaheim's had some pretty good picks. Montreal's had some pretty good picks. Even all the top 10 picks, besides Seneke, it's not really overly surprising that any of those guys went top 10. So interesting stuff there. I was personally a little bit surprised that guys like Catan and Yakimchuk went in the top 10, but I don't think it's overly surprising those guys wound up being in the top end of the draft. So interesting stuff there. We do have some more players coming out over the next little while. So interesting stuff there. We do have a few more picks happening over the next little while. Let's see. Hopefully we'll have the 29th overall pick announced in not too distant future. Dallas is going to have the 29th overall pick. Oh, and the Dallas Stars are taking finish forward Emil Hemming. So not too surprised there. Hemming was, I think, projected to go around this spot. Pretty good player there for the Stars to get Hemming. He's a solid player. 6'1", 205 pounds. Played 40 games over in Liga. 7 goals, 11 points. Really good player. I think eventually could be a solid top 9 forward, fitting in with a young core that already has guys like Robertson, Hintz, Stankoven, Bork, amongst the others. So that could be a really good pick up there for Dallas, taking Hemming at 29th overall. The Rangers are now on the clock. They pick 30th overall. Don't know who they'll try and take. Personally, I had them going after Henry Muse in my projected mock draft, I think it was. So I don't know who they'll go after here at 30th overall. Could they go after a guy like Hudson or Emery or Muse? Or could they go after a forward like a Artemanov or a Ritchie or a... or a... Chernyshov, who's dropped a little bit here, Basha. So there's a couple of decent players here for the Rangers who they could take. So wouldn't be overly surprised if we saw the Rangers make a really decent trade move here and selected a pretty good player. So it'll be interesting to see, but definitely some interesting moves that happened so far over today. I do wonder if we see some more moves tomorrow. Probably some more significant moves will happen tomorrow, so wouldn't be overly surprised if that happens. Like we said, Hemming to Dallas is a pretty good pickup there for the Stars with the late round, first round pick. We got probably, hopefully, a couple of other things too. Hopefully we see that. So interesting to note, see that. It sounds like, according to Frank Saravalli, he says that Nikita Zadorov is on the Carolina Hurricanes radar, so that could be a really good fit there for the Hurricanes if they do wind up losing Shea and Pesce, which a lot of people expect. So an extremely huge pickup there for the Canes if they're able to sign Zadorov on Monday, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Sounds like he's not going to be back with Vancouver, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens there, but so far pretty good. Draft so far, I mean, it's been decent. Hasn't been overly fantastic. We haven't seen any big trades, but we have had a pretty decent draft so far, and if it had not been cutting out, I think we've had a pretty good draft. So let's see what else we could see here. 30th overall should hopefully not be too far away, and then we'll have only 2 picks left in the first round of the draft, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Interesting to note, so it'll be interesting to see what else happens. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this down in the comment section in the chat below, or the comment section if you're watching this after the live stream. What do you think about the draft? Are you surprised by anything that happened in this draft? And what do you think we could see tomorrow? And are you surprised we didn't see any player trades at this point in time at least? And if so, why do you think that is? And what do you think we could see tomorrow? Because usually we would see some more trades tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the chat or in the comment section below. What do you think? So that's all. So at this point, we've got a couple more things we gotta do here. Interesting stuff there. So still some picks to go through. The Rangers 30th overall pick should hopefully be coming in the not too distant future. We have the Rangers 30th overall pick, the Leafs 31st pick, and the Flyers 32nd pick, and then we're done on the draft day, so we only got 3 picks left. So that could be a really good pickup there for whoever winds up taking it. So interesting stuff there. We could see some other moves in the not too distant future too. So definitely don't forget to stay tuned for that. Like I said, we're going to have some more videos over the next couple of days. Probably not going to do anything tonight, but we could have some more videos tomorrow and over the next couple of days. We're probably going to have a live stream video tomorrow morning, or at least going to try. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. Same sort of thing on Monday. Probably going to try for Monday. So don't forget to stay tuned for those live videos that are coming up over the next little while. Let's see if there's any more updates on the New York Rangers selection. Let's see. I don't think there's any updates on the Rangers yet. Hopefully we'll get some in the not too distant future. Interesting draft so far. It's been really entertaining. Really good to see some drafts. Even if it was pick swaps, it's better than last year where we had no trades. So interesting stuff there. So we're down to the bottom 4 over here in the corner. We have, I think it was Dallas, New York. We just had Dallas. So we have New York, Toronto, and Philadelphia left. At this point in time, I still had the Ducks logo up because that was the Ducks pick before I traded up to 23rd overall. So interesting stuff there, but we should be having some more picks announced in the not distant future, and then we should be able to end the live stream. So love to see your guys' thoughts on what you think about this draft down in the comment section below. Could we see some more interesting things? So let's see if we could see any interesting let's see if any interesting potential options here for who the Rangers might pick at 30th overall. Let's see. Do we have anything on the 30th overall pick, which is the Rangers? Not yet. Still just hemming at 29 overall. Then we have a couple of picks here for the Toronto and Philadelphia after that. So interesting stuff there. It's been a really good draft so far, but yeah, my voice is getting a little bit sore. So hopefully these last few picks don't get too long and we can end it and I can rest my voice for tomorrow, which is going to be another pretty long video. My guess will be it's probably an hour and a half, 2 hours video tomorrow, given the fact of how interesting it is. So we're going to have interesting stuff from over the past next little while. So we could have some interesting options here. Still not sure exactly who the New York Rangers are picking. Could be a guy. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Cole Hudson. They don't have an overabundance of really good defensive prospects, and he's fallen a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Cole Hudson. But then again, it could be someone else. There's also been some talk today that Stamkos is going to head to market. It sounds like him and the Bolts couldn't come up on a contract extension. Apparently, the Bolts are trying to offer him an 8-year extension at $3 million. An $8 million 8-year extension for a player who's 34 years old. I know he's good and everything, but I don't think he's going to play till he's 42. So that was a little bit of a surprise move there for the Bolts. But we heard them trying to do the same thing with Killorn when they knew they didn't have any money, trying to do a low AAV deal for a long period of time, and it didn't work for the Bolts. So Stamkos will look like heading to free agency. Teams like Detroit, Nashville could be having interest in him. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Stamkos. The Rangers have indeed picked. Interesting to note here, the Rangers do pick 30th overall, and they do take a defenseman. It's EJ Emery. I was expecting to go, I think it was 23rd overall to the the Toronto Maple Leafs. He goes a little bit lower here at 30th overall. Emery, who's a right-shot defenseman, 6'3", 185 pounds, pretty good. With the Rangers considering moving a guy like Trouba, they have Schneider, they have Lindgren. They could use another solid right-shot defenseman who could eventually be a solid second pair defenseman for them. And I think Emery could be that. Put up 16 assists in 61 National Team Development Program games. Looked pretty good, and I think eventually could be a solid pickup there for the New York Rangers. So 30th overall, we have him going there. We have 2 picks left. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we have the Philadelphia Flyers. For the Flyers, they took it was Luchenko early on. I could see him go after the defenseman. Maybe Hudson's going to intrigue them. We know what the Leafs, I think, could definitely use the defenseman. Wouldn't be surprised if they went after a guy like Badinka or Hudson or Muse. So I wouldn't be overly surprised there. So it'll be interesting to see. We could see maybe some late trade over the next couple of minutes. But sounds like for the time being, we do have 2 picks left. So I do wonder what we could all see. So Leafs don't get EJ Emery. So interesting stuff there. So some interesting things who we could see over the next little while. So like we said, we got a couple of decent picks over the past little while. So interesting to note so far from over the past little while. Really interesting things that happened. So, like we said, we're going to have an interesting next couple of days. Like we said, Monday's free agency. Tomorrow's draft day 2. So we could have some interesting things from over the next little while. So I do wonder if we see some interesting things that happen. So could be some interesting things. We're waiting for updates on what the Leafs are going to do now. I saw something about potentially Toronto going after a trade. It's possible, but I don't think so. So it'll be interesting to see. So we got some interesting stuff to talk about over the past little while. So it's been a really good day so far. So we got some interesting things from over the last little while. So I do wonder what we could see. I don't know who. Hold on. It'll be interesting to see who goes 32nd to Philadelphia. In my opinion, who goes to Philadelphia at 32nd would probably be Hudson. That'll be my guess. Who goes 32nd to Philadelphia. I don't know exactly who else goes at 32 overall, so it will be interesting to see who goes 32nd. It's the last pick of the draft. Do wonder if it goes to Philadelphia, maybe, if the Philadelphia Flyers trade it, or if they do something else. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens there, but it'll be really interesting to see who winds up getting the Philadelphia Flyers take. But I don't know if the Leafs are going to be picking here or if they're trading it. Not exactly sure. We know they have very little draft capital, so they could be moving back. That could be something that we could see them do. Not exactly sure who else we could. So it'll be interesting to see. So I really could see that'd be a really good pickup there for the Leafs. Could they take Hudson? Emery's now off the board. I think a lot of Leafs fans would have loved Emery at 31st overall. So with Emery off the board, do they trade the pick? Do they try and do something else? Do they go after Hudson or someone else like that? I don't know exactly who they go after. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens there. But we do know that the Leafs and Flyers are the last two picks at this point in time in the draft. And we're going to have to wait and see exactly who goes to those two picks. So interesting stuff there. We could see some more draft picks over the next little while, so we're definitely going to have a really interesting draft day tomorrow. Once again, it goes really fast on day 2 to get through all those rounds. Probably only going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours to stay through rounds 2 through 4, so I wouldn't be overly surprised if we were on the air for a very short amount of time tomorrow, so interesting stuff there. So interesting stuff from over past little while. Still not sure what the Leafs are doing right now. We know that they just trade down to get a couple extra second round pick, 58th overall from the Boston Bruins. So I'm not exactly sure what they'll do here. They have this pick. This pick was originally Edmonton's. They gave it to Anaheim as part of the Adam Henrique deal, and then the Leafs just got it from the Anaheim Ducks in a trade for the Ducks to trade up and get Stolberg. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Ducks, but the Leafs now have the 31st overall pick. Not sure if they'll trade it, if they'll keep it. Not exactly sure what we're going to see here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but definitely some interesting ones from over the past little while. And I think we could be having some interesting notes from over the next little while. So some interesting updates from over the past few hours with the trades. And yeah, my voice is giving out, guys, sorry, but we're only 2 picks away. I'm going to stay here for the next little bit, and then we're going to have some interesting stuff. So interesting to note there. I do wonder if we could see some more picks in the not too distant future, like some more trades. I do wonder if it's possible. I do wonder if they go after a guy like Basha or Chernyshov. If they're going for a defenseman, Hudson could be a good one. If they want to go a little bit out there and go for a guy who used to be a high draft pick who's sort of fallen a little bit, could they go after Kivi Harju? That could be a really good pickup there for the Leafs. So not exactly sure who Toronto will take or if they'll keep that pick or not, but the Leafs are definitely going to have to make some sort of a move here. And then we're going to have the Philadelphia Flyers. That was originally the Florida Panthers pick. Panthers originally moved that pick as a conditional pick to the Montreal Canadiens, but that pick wound up being bumped down due to Montreal getting the other pick because they gave that as a condition as a 23rd or 2023 or 2024 first rounder. So it was kept to Florida, and then Florida gave it to Philadelphia as part of the Claude Giroux deal that sent Philadelphia a 3rd round pick, Owen Tippett, and this 1st round pick. So Philadelphia is going to get a solid 1st round pick no matter what they're able to get. So that could be a really good pickup there for Philadelphia. So it'll be interesting to see who they try and target. I could see him try and go after Hudson if he's still available. If he doesn't go to Toronto, could see him go after Kivi Harju maybe. I did think I had Kivi Harju going 32nd to Philadelphia earlier. Okay, so the pick is in. The Leafs do select a D, but it's not Hudson or Kivi Harju. It's Ben Danford. Danford, I don't know exactly where he was ranked. Hold on, let me see. Danford was a guy who was expected to go in the middle of the 2nd round. He's a right shot defenseman, 6'1", 190 pounds, put up a goal and 33 points in 64 OHL games. Looked pretty good for the over in the OHL. So I think he could be a really good fit there for Toronto. We know they could use a solid top 4 right shot defenseman. Danford, I think, could be a really good pickup there for Toronto. So that's a pretty good pickup there for the Leafs. And I think That's a fantastic pickup there for Toronto and able to get him. So the Leafs get Danford at number 31 overall, and we are up to our last pick, number 32 overall in this year's drafts. We have the number 32 overall in this year's draft. We have the number 32 overall in this year's draft. We have the Philadelphia Flyers, like we said, via the Florida Panthers, thanks to the Claude Giroux deal. So they're going to be picking this. So this is going to be the final piece of that pick, of that trade. They got Denver Barkey with the third overall pick, with a third round pick last year. They got Owen Tippett, and they're going to be picking this guy too. So they are able to get Barkey, Tippett, and whoever they pick here with their trade from Claude Giroux. So that could be really a pickup there for whoever they're able to get. So let's hope it's a really good one. I could see him go after Cole Hudson. I could see him go after Aaron Kiviharu. Wouldn't be always surprised if we saw him go after a forward like a Chernyshov or a Basha, who have also dropped in this draft. So interesting to note there. We'll have to wait and see exactly who they go after, but it'll be interesting to see who they go after. Definitely think it could be interesting to note there for the definitely going to be interesting to see who winds up getting it, but definitely. So we're into our last pick. Once again, just want to tell you guys I'm doing a live video tomorrow morning. I think 8:15 a.m. Pacific time. Might be a little bit later. I might do around 8:30ish. Not exactly sure, but sometime around there, 8:15, 8:30. Stay tuned on YouTube. I'll definitely have another live video. Try and keep it not disconnecting. Hopefully it won't, but we will have to wait and see. And then, like I said, I'll be doing another one 9:30 or 10ish on Monday to talk about free agent frenzy. So some interesting stuff over the next little while for you guys to keep an eye on. And then, like I said, I'm going to have a full first round draft recap sometime either later tomorrow or on Sunday. And I'm going to have a couple more videos that I'm having over the next little while. We're probably going to get some more trade rumors over the next little while. So definitely going to be interesting to see and trades as well. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who moves where, but almost done with this draft video. And then we're going to be signing off until tomorrow morning. So we just got the last pick in this year's draft, in the first round at least. So we're down to the final pick. Philadelphia's on the clock, and as soon as Philadelphia is picked, we will see exactly who ends up going where. So Ben Danford goes to Toronto at 31st overall, and that's interesting to note here. Let's see. I don't know exactly if Philadelphia's trading down or not. Not exactly sure what's going to happen, so it'll be interesting to see. Once again, Danford was a guy who was expected to go lower in the draft, so to take him at 30th overall, just like they did Cowan last year with 28th overall, that was a pretty good pick for Cowan, and a lot of people were not overly thrilled with it at the time. So I think that could be a really good pickup there for. I think that could be a really good pickup there for the Leafs to get Danford, even though he's a bit of an unknown commodity. So that's a pretty good pickup there for Toronto. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with Philadelphia and Edmonton, and with Philadelphia and what they're going to do. It sounds like the Oilers are trying to trade up and get the last pick in this year's draft. Not exactly sure what sort of a move they're trying to make. I think they have their second round pick. Not exactly sure who they're trying to move to get the 32nd overall pick, or what they're trying to move. So it could be a couple of second round picks or picks in next year's draft or something like that. So it seems like the Oilers will be picking with the last pick of the draft, and the Flyers will trade down. So it'll be interesting to see that, but definitely some interesting stuff from over the past couple of days. So it'll be interesting to see. I do wonder if we could see some more things. I do wonder what else we could see. So we're on to our last pick of the 2024 draft. I wonder who winds up going with the last pick in the 2024 draft. Oilers apparently want someone, so it seems that they're going to try and climb up and get into it. So we'll have to wait and see who they go after, if there's a trade or something here. So interesting to note there for the interesting to see what the Flyers are. See what else the Flyers are trying to do right now. So they're trying to move up into 32nd overall pick, trying to get the pick from Philadelphia. So don't know exactly what they're trying to do. They're just prolonging this draft a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what the exact trade details are. But it does sound like the Philadelphia Flyers and Edmonton Oilers are making a trade. Not exactly sure at this point in time what the trade is or what it entails, but it's going to be interesting to see when it is completed. I do wonder if there's a player or two involved in this trade. Maybe it's a possibility. Could see it potentially be not to. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens there, but it'll be interesting to see. So some interesting stuff there from over the past little while. Do wonder if we could see some more interesting things. So it'll be interesting to see. So we got some potential trades to work out through here. So I do wonder what they could be looking for here. We got, so to start off tomorrow, just give you the rundown for the top 10 picks in tomorrow's second round. So let's just double check this here. Let me try and figure this out. So at 30, let me just try and see this. So at 33rd overall, you have the Chicago San Jose Sharks. 34th overall, you have the Carolina Hurricanes. 35th overall, I think it's the Anaheim Ducks. 36th, the Jackets. 37 is the Jets. 38 is Utah. 39 is Ottawa, 40 is Seattle, 41 is Calgary, and 42 is Buffalo. So those are our top 10 picks for the start of next year's draft. It could be a really good start of the draft for tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see some major big trades happen tomorrow, so hopefully that'll happen. And I think it could be really good for those things. So interesting to note, Edmonton seems that they're moving into the first round. Not exactly sure where the trade is, but it seems that they're going to be trading with the Philadelphia Flyers. Once again, not sure what sort of a move they're making. Let's see, no updates so far on Edmonton and Philadelphia. So I do wonder what they're trying to connect on right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, as soon as this pick is in, I'm going to do a quick recap and then shut it off. So definitely don't forget to stay tuned for this. And definitely, if you haven't watched it, I'll definitely link it into my YouTube cards. Go check it out, all 3 parts of it. Definitely, I know it wasn't the smoothest of draft of live shows, but I think it was a pretty good one. So the trade is as follows. The Oilers acquired the 32nd overall pick from the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for the Oilers' 2025 or 2026 first-round pick. So the Flyers will have a first-round pick in either the first or in the first round of either the 2025 or 2026 draft. Not exactly sure what the conditions are on that. It's a conditional pick, but the Oilers do wind up taking the 32nd overall pick, so they're now on the clock. Once this pick is in, we'll do a quick recap of what happened. So definitely don't forget to stay tuned for that, but we do have a trade, and the Oilers have traded their first round pick in either next year or the year after's draft to the Flyers for the 32nd overall pick in this year's draft. So smart move for the Oilers. Now I'm not exactly sure they're going to get to 32nd overall next year. They had a really good run this year to get to the Cup final, almost won it. It's extremely hard to get back to the Cup final, so I wouldn't be overly surprised if this was a mid-20 level pick next year. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs either, but I definitely think this is not going to be a high-end pick for the Oilers. I mean, a low-end pick for the Oilers, so it's an interesting move there for the Oilers to move either their first-round pick in 25 or 26 for a first-round pick in 2024, which is 32nd overall. So it's an interesting move there for the Edmonton Oilers as they do trade back into the first round. Like we said, condition is 2025 or 2026 conditional, not exactly sure who it is. And now the Oilers have the pick that will used to belong to the Florida Panthers. So the 2 teams who wound up being in the Cup final are the 2 teams who originally and currently own the 32nd overall pick. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who goes to Edmonton at 32 overall. Not exactly sure who they wind up getting, but it'll be interesting to see who ends up being able to get it. So I do wonder who the Oilers go here. Hudson could be a really good fit there. I do wonder if they go after a guy like Basha or Chernyshov. I think they could try and get someone who can help in the next year or two while they can still compete with McDavid and Draisaitl. So it'll be interesting to see exactly who they go after here, but the Oilers have indeed traded up and do get the Flyers' 32nd overall pick in exchange for a couple of other picks. So it's a pretty good pickup there for the Oilers. Let's see what else. Is there any updates here yet? Yes, there is. The Oilers have made their pick. We're now done with the first round. The Oilers have taken Sam O'Reilly. O'Reilly, who's a center who played in London this past year over in the OHL. 6'1", 183 pounds, put up 20 goals and 56 points in 68 OHL games. Really good player there over in the OHL, and I think eventually O'Reilly could be a solid second, third line center there for the Edmonton Oilers. So that was the last pick of this draft. I'm going to cut out the live video here. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this stuff down in the chat, down in the comment section below. What do you think about all that happened today? Quick recap here. So at 32nd overall, the Edmonton Oilers select Sam O'Reilly. 31st overall, the Toronto Maple Leafs select 31st overall, the Toronto Maple Leafs select Ben Danford. 30th overall, NYR gets Emery. 29th overall, Dallas gets Hemming. 28th, Calgary gets Gradon. 27th, Chicago gets Vanacker. 26th, LA gets Greentree. 25th, Boston gets Letourneau. 24th, The Utah franchise gets Budonin. 23rd, the Ducks get Solberg. 22nd, Nashville gets Saran. 21st, Hage gets Montreal. Montreal gets Hage. 20th, Yzerman gets NYI. 19th, Conley goes to Vegas. 18th, Boisvert goes to Chicago. 17th, Periskak to Washington. 16th, St. Louis to St. Louis gets Yurchek. 15th, Brandon Nygaard to Detroit. 14th, Hellenius to Buffalo. 13th, Luchenko to Philly. 12th, Buellum to Minnesota. 11th, San Jose gets Dickinson. 10th, Jersey gets Salayev. 9th, Perek to Calgary. 8th, Seattle gets Catan. 7th, Yakimchuk to Ottawa. 6th, Iginla to Utah. 5th, Demidov to Montreal. 4th, Lindstrom to Columbus. 3rd, Senek to Anaheim, and 2nd, Levchinov to Chicago, with 1st overall going Celebrini to San Jose. So those are all the picks that happened over the past draft. We had a couple of swaps. Minnesota and Philly swapped 12th and 13th. Philly got an extra pick. Utah traded up to 24th, gave Colorado 3 picks. Anaheim traded up to 23rd, gave Toronto 2 picks. And Chicago gave Carolina 2 seconds in order to trade up to 27th. And Edmonton just traded up to 32nd by moving a first-round pick either next year or the year after. So lots of interesting trades that happened also over the past little while. But that's what I want to talk about for today. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to tune in for tomorrow when I do my second half of the live video, doing the rounds 2 through 7. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comment section below. What do you think about all of this? And if you did view it, what do you think of my live video, besides the fact that I cut out in and out? But definitely, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comment section below. And what do you think about all of this trades that happened? And what do you think about all this stuff that happened in this draft video? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video, which I'm doing a live video on. Stay tuned for Monday's live video, which I'm doing another live video on. And stay tuned for all the other videos that are going to be happening over the next couple of days. Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. So I'm going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video. If you're liked it, remember to subscribe down below. Thank you for your support we're able to with all of you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Definitely leave a comment down in the comment section below so someone else gets today's video. I also have a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So I'm going to check that out. Leave a link down in the description below. And catch you guys all for next video. See you guys soon.